Looking for hope, but it's often hard to see. It's obvious the future isn't what it used to be. We're born of the dust, and to dust we will return. So why have we forgotten everything that we have learned? So why have we forgotten everything that we have learned? We are the young, the chosen ones. Voices in unison, the ending has begun. A new kingdom come, a new will be done. Enter into this new Elysium. The ending has begun. Sometimes we need reminders of everything that we are worth. Rise up from the ground, join our voices to the sound. The time has come, new Elysium. Dead as oppressive empire down. No more dreams are lost in time. No more lives are lost inside. New kingdom come, new will be done. Our voices unified. We are the young, the chosen ones. Voices in unison, the ending has begun. A new kingdom come, a new will be done. Enter into this new
Konnichiwa, Minagawa. It's Miga Katsueki. I'm your furry Ian Vtuber and Ian representative, and also your detective. This is Disco Elysium, and we are on a tight schedule, game-wise. So, we are, at the second day. This is the start of the second day. The past, like, 4 episodes have been on the first day. We went to sleep. We had a really trippy dream. But now it's the second day. We have to push forward with this investigation. Which room is is Kim sleeping in? He's in one of these. I forget
The
which.
door is closed.
Oh no, this is where. Hey man, how are you? That's where the the woman that was on this rail smoking. That's where she is. And now she won't speak to us. Speak to us. Oh, everyone's in a different spot now. Oh, there's Kim. Hey Jacob, how are you?
Morning.
He gives you a quick nod.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
These the men Gart told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about. And one big problem to replace it.
Let's see. Why do we need to talk to them?
Everything points to the dock workers union. The belt used for hanging him, tracks in the mud, the circumstances in Martinez, my preliminary information, which may, of course, all be wrong. But we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy.
What do you mean,
I mean
rowdy?
ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the union. These men here, men who drink beer for breakfast, there's talk of an armed wing of the union called the Hardy Boys,
Like
who are
the-
responsible
like
for
the-
seat policing. I think it's them.
Like the Encyclopedia Brown, but more grown up somehow. I never liked the Hardy Boys. I liked Encyclopedia Brown because you could figure out the mystery along with the encyclopedia, and then like at the end of the book, at the end, you could see if your answers were correct. I like the aspect of it. It was more interactive than the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys were just like regular mystery novels. There's so many of them. Maybe we should call them
That would
reinforcements.
just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay?
Let's roll.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first. But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
Oh, good.
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
So, okay. I'm glad he said that because I don't actually want to talk to them first. I didn't even realize that they would be here. What I want to do is talk to the welcome to Rivershaw motherfucker outside of the protest, if he's still there. Well, yeah, he is waiting for them drugs. Cause I leveled up my my rhetoric, so maybe he won't talk circles around me. 3 T's, how idiomatic. I don't know what that
Looking for
means.
something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again? Oh, not much anymore. I'm here
What
to
kind of cargo
pick
are
up
you supposed to pick up?
apples.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Sounds like a cover story to me.
Look, as detective, I come from a long line of lorry men. We got ancient rights and privileges.
He loses his patience for explaining it.
Oh, I'm here to pick up a load of fucking apples, man. Just regular Koiko picked apples.
Damn, you're not gonna get more out of him on this. He's put up the wall of racism.
The wall of racism. Oh, it's a tough wall to climb. This is something with the rights and privileges of lorrymen.
Oh yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was a carter, had a royal license and everything. We've tried to hold on to our privileges.
What's a carter?
Someone with a cart. What did you think it was?
Sorry.
That's how deep into history our thing reaches, before machines.
So he was a garbage man.
Not at all. We are part of a guild and everything, huh? It's very ancient, very prestigious.
Very prestigious. So it's a kind of union.
Hell no. It's a guild. Invitation only. Unions work for the rich fucks. They're basically
His
the
accent.
same. Been trying to fuck us out of our heritage in the name of profit, but you can't replace experience.
Yes, that is exactly. Koiko. That's something with the. That is one of the races that the Musclehead, Thunderhead, whatever the fuck his name was, used. But also this lorry driver, he had a French accent. He's mostly had a French accent, but his accent kind of lapsed into Irish there for a second. It's like invitation only. Hell no! It's a guild. It's a guild. Invitation only.
Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck him right up the ass. Mark my words. Generations of practice ain't no laughing matter.
Something with the rights and privileges of
Oh
lorry
yeah,
men.
they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was
That's a
carter. Sure
privilege?
fucking is. We have a guild and everything, huh? Very ancient. Very prestigious.
So you're in a Carter's guild.
Goddamn right. They've been trying to fuck us out of our heritage in the name of profit. But when they try to replace us, they'll regret it.
Yeah. Does he actually not have a French accent? He's going like further and further west the more he speaks.
Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck him right up the ass. Mark my words. Generations of practice ain't no laughing matter.
So I got. No, I didn't get another skill point. Shoot. I just leveled up some. Okay. So is that actually not. It's actually not the perpetrator. I didn't speak to this guy yet. I mean, I did, but then I got my wrist crushed. I should talk.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
The man yells toward the harbor gates. His voice is the loudest of the lot, and oddly screechy for a man his size. What's going on here?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
The broad-shouldered alpha male turns to you. He's a full head taller than everybody else here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
No.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work! Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
No, let's have some
Maybe
questions.
you should
Pete.
ask them the questions. Like, why we're not allowed to make a living here.
Shame on you!
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
He points his finger at the man sitting on the railing.
So do we, Scott.
The Lorry man howls in return. What is a strike? Explain that to me. I want to get into the
Have
harbor
fun.
too.
Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss.
I'm interviewing people about the murder that took place here, behind the hostile cafeteria there.
I know nothing about a murder.
Supply is snappy and terse.
The mention of a killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through him. Interesting.
Why so tense?
What are you talking about? I'm not tense.
That's exactly what someone that's tense would say.
Yes, he's tense.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
I don't know.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
He turns around and blows at
Let
the
us
gates.
work!
What exactly is your goal
We
here?
were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
And you are unable to breach the
Main
entrance.
gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open, but try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guards blocking the way to the access panel.
And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer.
Head measurer, that's his
Whatever
name.
he is.
We consider storming in like all of you.
Why don't you go arrest them instead? I'm sure they've done plenty of criminal shit. They have that look.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home. At least for now. If you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
Have fun.
I know nothing about
The mention of a killing sends a
Absolutely
barely...
nothing.
Wouldn't put it past these harbor bugs. They'd do anything to stay alive. Right to work! It's shameful.
We are not
Very
picky.
Jeez.
Let
Who are these strike
honest men and
breakers?
women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
The man runs a hand through a steadily graying military haircut.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If Union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No.
Yes.
They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were.
Given a job to do!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
Where exactly are you from?
What's it to you?
Deep-set suspicion drips from every syllable. Curiosity going to figure out the strike mess. Part of the investigation. Thought you looked real familiar for a second there. Going to figure out the strike mess?
No, don't think we've met before. I came to help out the people.
I already got that. I'm interested in your background. Haven't you done this before? Yes, but I did this before. I did this before I had talked to Measurehead the first time around, and when I had died, it sent me back to a point like before I had this conversation. So I just didn't do it again. But yeah. In this current timeline, I have not spoken to him yet. Yes, I was in a failed timeline. And people usually hate scabs. Yes, they do, because just like as seen here, they are undermining They tend to undermine the strikers. What the strikers are trying to do, because like the whole point of a strike is to get is to make the company realize how valuable the workers are. Like, you can't make a profit without people on the ground, like, doing the work the company needs to get done. But if you can get like other qualified people to like do the job the strikers do, probably for less money, then like the strikers lose like all their leverage. Oh, you got that. I'm interested in your background.
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
A bouncer where? I frequent a lot of bars. Maybe it's one I know.
Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell?
Territorial. I think I've been there. Never heard of it. Are you lying?
We're done here. I have a strike to break. Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
I wasn't done asking
Things
questions.
are busy enough. You're going to waste less of my time?
We'll
The
see.
hulking man oozes stark skepticism.
What is
When a
strike?
bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches
What is a
can't
strike?
get their act
Explain
together,
strikes to me.
decide to block honest work for other people.
He shifts uncomfortably in his worker's overalls. What do the strikers
Beats
want?
me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting.
Ill-fitting. What does that mean?
His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with much more corpulence.
You wearing new clothes?
He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the air. The clothes are obviously not his. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what.
Exactly.
What's it to
from?
you?
I'm gonna figure out the strike
Big mess, caused by union greed. But I only fight for the rights of people. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
Yeah, that's why you
Worked
seem
at
familiar.
Territorial.
I think I've been there.
Uh-huh. It was a long time ago.
Exactly.
What's it to you?
Can you part of the
Am I a
investigation?
suspect? Done. We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from worked
Which
at
one was it?
Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. It was a long time ago.
So all signs. The signs point to this guy not being an actual scab. But I don't know. How to press him on it.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Let's see. You're the man in the boots of the case. Gonna say you know about the armor.
The little boy had the good on his promise.
It's
To
promised.
get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, Why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, and the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
Gonna use this to what? Scare
It's
you?
a minor nuisance. It's all good.
You probe into the armor. What did you
I
learn?
learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part.
Sort of technical
I did
stuff.
some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
I have better
I
things to
agree,
do.
officer. Let's focus on the hanging, and later some junior officers can take care of the rest.
Nice. From what I learned, it was a very heavy, boring set of armor.
Thank you for your
No
cooperation.
If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
He is sincerely grateful he is not tracking down pieces of armor right now.
This is the dead
Body
body
still hanging
situation.
in the tree? Hey, that's a rough pickle. Can't help you with that, sorry. I'm not really an admirer of dead bodies. Might be someone else from the Union can render assistance.
Please let me go
I
through the
don't
gate.
operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's so simple, why did the scab leader warn you of the guards blocking the way?
I just
Aye.
walk in.
Walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him, then press the button to unlock the door, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
This thing is actually
Don't
quite
worry,
difficult.
I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best measure head in a physical confrontation, or you could convert to a Semini supremacist worldview. Or, maybe it actually is completely impossible.
Has anyone ever bested him in a physical confrontation?
Not yet, no. He's incredibly strong.
Is any of the scatter strike converting to his worldview?
Jean-Luc himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Not enough intuition.
Got it.
Sure.
Another thing. Let's see, what's the strike
You know,
about anyway?
serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
I'm really short on money right now. Can you give me some
Sure
of it?
thing, my friend. I can help you out.
He flips a coin towards you. Try to catch it.
The coin narrowly slips by your outstretched fingers and falls to the ground.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do, passing around cargo and such. Was not meant as provocation or ridicule.
The boyardero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
Appreciate it.
Right, always glad to help out the RCM. We're on the same branch, you and I. Humans, I mean, not slithering scabs.
Good talking. You gotta run. I don't know what that dialogue was. I am not talking to Measurehead again. I refuse. There we go. New day, new money to loot. Okay.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on.
Nope. There with Grandma. So like, the thing with playing this game on a controller is that, well, I don't know about everyone else, but the way I have to interact with things is that I move the control stick like around in order to like select things that I can highlight, like mess around with. So whenever I'm walking, I'm like constantly moving the stick around to see if there's anything around that I can like
Stuck in the
look
rain
at.
in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind?
Let's see. Yes. So for now, bye. Oh, this is a new person. You see a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing books in the rain. A good one?
Yes? Hello?
She nods, her attention fully focused on reading. Who are
Me?
you?
No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Shouldn't a working class woman be working?
Not all the time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Phenomenal.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Everyone can see that. The rectangles.
Do you need the help of a
What with?
policeman? Let's see. Watch your browse
Her
books.
hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking.
Maybe a husband
My
is missing?
husband? No, he's not.
So where could he be?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
Work? Out drinking with his friends. At 8 o'clock in the morning? Oh! Her husband is with the union. They're at the, one of them is at he's at the bar right now. Or in the cafeteria at the hostel.
Where is this going, officer?
What I'm hearing is you don't know you don't really know where your husband
Yes,
is.
but I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time.
Wouldn't you like
No.
to? She looks you straight into the eye, her right foot is tapping nervously. I can totally help you find your missing husband.
Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband.
She has, though. The husband is totally lost. You should tell her that it's okay.
It's
What?
okay. Sorry to not know where your husband is. Nothing shameful of that.
Who said anything about shame? Stop talking down to me.
She puts
My
her foot
husband
down.
is not missing.
But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's something else then.
Maybe your children are missing.
No, absolutely not.
Her words come out quick as gunshot. Gunshots. Okay, where are
Are
they?
you a policeman or a nanny?
She's definitely disturbed by now. Nanny, where
They
are
are
they?
not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking. Giving the ladder of vices a chance.
Is this gonna go anywhere?
What if something horrible has happened? What if they're dead? That's the bad vibe you got before.
They're at home, right? Smoking cigarettes.
What? That's just My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Jamrock. There's nothing to worry about. They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now.
I'm afraid the danger is now greater than ever. Tell me, how old
My
are they?
youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month. But we shouldn't even be talking about them.
And can you describe me there? Any features that stand out? Something to make identifying a little easier.
Why do you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they're not missing? That they're in Jamrock, safe and well, at some stupid party?
At 8 o'clock in the morning! This is for the investigation. I'm trying to be professional.
There is no investigation here. I can tell you that.
Yeah, cockatoo is
I
missing.
don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here.
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get ladies. It's better to indulge him at this point.
Let's give a shit cockatoo. Is it
I
missing?
don't even have a cockatoo. And guess what?
It's a trap. Never ever say what.
What?
Even if I had, it wouldn't be missing. Great.
What do you mean by me being a cockatoo?
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
On cockatoos?
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Wonderful.
Thanks for the
store
tip.
is open.
Find my heraldic bird. That's all for the moment. I'll let you
The
read.
woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
That went nowhere. What is the point of that? I don't know. I really don't know. I thought it was going to go somewhere, but it never did. In my own way. It went absolutely nowhere. We're gonna go into the bookstore. Fuck you. This little girl's still
Hello,
sitting out here
sir.
in the rain. Who is
Oh,
that?
that's Auntie Billy. She's nice if a bit distressed.
She's your aunt?
No, sir. She's a working woman who comes to look at the books a lot.
Why is she
I
distressed?
think she is a bad husband. Not very nice or helpful.
Oh. Oh. Thank you, Annie. I mean, thank you. What's her name? Billy? I've already forgot her name. Anyway, thank you, little girl.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Looking for a book about
A book
cockatoos.
about cockatoos? There should be one upstairs, right next to the shelf of biographies.
Okay. Why is it right next to the biographies? Everyone knows the most interesting thing about fascists was their magic.
Shelves full of biographies of. Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important, or suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz, by one Cecilia
That
Averill.
is not how you spell Irv. Starting to feel like we're in a David Lynch movie.
High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other.
That's That's stupid.
Next to that, where the Sholian radio personality, Guillaume Bevy, stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse though, but not too long.
She understands she has erred against the customer and immediately corrects course.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce.
Time is commerce.
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring
Okay.
a sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
How about this guy to
It's a
cockatoos?
must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
$3.99. I would like to. Hold on. How much? It doesn't tell me how much I'm gonna get for it. Cause I'm going to need. I need 21 real to pay for my hotel room. I definitely don't want to steal in front of my partner. No. Probably not worth it.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Tell me about the Muscle Man books.
Oh, Man from Hyundai. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books.
Why are they so popular? Because they're awfully immoral and violent.
Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do.
Sounds good. Which one should I start
What
with?
does it matter? They're all the same. However,
You're doing a
the
very
customer
good
is
job of
always
selling
right,
your
they
wares.
say. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hyundalaman, the man from Hyundai. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series.
$9. Oh, heck no.
The display rack is brimming
Oh,
with
it's the
worn
same. Okay. Gift books and molten candy. So should probably go talk to the I should talk to them before they leave. It's a bowl, they're spitting and reeking of tobacco.
Over here.
She snaps her fingers. Ooh.
Let me handle this.
This is the crown the mess up before turning to you.
You seem a little different today. Less hospitable.
You are far from home, Lieutenant. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
You're right, Lieutenant. She did seem friendly sitting on the
Not
corner.
a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours.
You are looking for Titus Hardy? who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him.
She points to the man sitting in the middle of the room.
That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What if I want to talk to you, not
What
Titus?
you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
I saw what you were thinking. You want to say, what are you going to do to me? Don't. Just because it's in your head doesn't mean you have to say it. You will not lose out on anything good by not saying it.
What are you going to do to me? What's your role in all this?
Obviously, I'm a lawyer. A legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. I would urge you to consider what you say to my client.
That is not what I was thinking she was.
Aggressive. You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
This tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
Representation is not unlawful. It's cool and funny, and you're just not historic individuals. I don't know where you heard that, but it's wrong. The SMU is principled and strong, like you socialists. I like that good stuff. Let's take it a step further. Armed uprising. What are the union's plans? Let's ask those questions. He's a financial buffer zone. I need to get emotional. What's the union's plan?
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary.
I should talk to Titus then. So she's a lawyer. Alright.
This is where you say your bit.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
Detective.
Senator acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you.
Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you. Maybe against his better judgment, but he does.
Don't say anything yet.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
Do not let their squeals disturb your serenity. These are but simple peasants, sire.
The chatter is too inane to reach your ears. Raise your chin and gaze into the distance like a prince.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
The little guy looks at his mates in disbelief.
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
We are looking for Titus Hardy.
Senator turns to the broad-shouldered man at the end of the table. You need to talk about the hanged man, I bet.
Oh, this is about him.
This is about him.
Real looker, that won't.
What is with this half Southern, half French accent? Like nowhere near Louisiana.
You're sure taking your time, waiting for him to get ripe and pretty for you, huh?
Oh, he was a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff. Letting out that pretty boy smell.
Time to go to work in the shit factory!
Easy, boys. These janitors have a hell of a job cut out for them. I mean, I wouldn't go in there for $1 million.
He slaps his forehead.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match.
Scan the room.
Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man. In his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian in his late 30s, early 40s. And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. Fingerless gloves. And numerous scars. A little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 44. 40-something. Non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Where?
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important.
What's a plectrum?
Let's call this one the musician. Size 41.
What is a plectrum?
With the light step. Not
You
a
can't just
child,
gloss
after
over
all.
that.
An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46. Deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He alone
Fat
is
Angus.
130 kilos.
That's a good
Add
name for
the
a
man in
big
armor,
person.
and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
One of them is missing. The odd soul.
Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
Tyus is staring at you with his head tilted. That man hanging in the backyard. Did you do it?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why is there a container belt around the dead man's necks? Why are your boot prints all over the scene? Spoken to the dead man in a bizarre occult fashion. Why are your boot prints all over the scene? Let's start with that.
You mean these boots?
He raises his worker boots. Size 46. Steel reinforced toe. Yes.
We all got a pair. We wore them the night we took the pretty boy out back and hung him by the neck.
Well, alright then.
Yeah, we did this. Together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why our prints are all over the scene.
So you just confessed to murder?
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
When did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to answer any of his questions.
Fix the transfer mind, Titus.
I know, Lizzie. Relax.
No, Lizzie.
We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known the victim?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do
That
you
was
think we are?
quick. We are.
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for White Pines? The same company you're striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Who called the
Are you
shots
deaf?
that night?
There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy Boy without arresting all Hardy Boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Shadow of smirk passes her lips as she tilts her head.
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
No, but seriously, who calls the shots around here?
Who do you fucking think does?
One, two, three, four, 7. She was there too, wasn't she? Cause there was a much smaller boot print there. I thought she did.
It wasn't a question, dickwad. How fucking stupid are you?
This asshole is worse than... Titus runs the Hardy Boys, genius. That's why we're called the Hardy Boys. Ain't that right, fellas?
Oh my god.
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
Yes, there are some administrative differences. But on that night, they all acted as one man.
Why did you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary, that's it?
And he stepped out of line.
He repeats, jaw clamped shut like a vice.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade, right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Wait, did he mean like a literal grenade? Like a pull a pin and blow it up kind of grenade? I didn't even know he was in Special Forces.
Cause one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, "I'm RNA's goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all."
That'll do it, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some RNA's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
That sounds like something I would do, first of all.
We couldn't believe it either. But he fucking did. Right there. Like some kind of animal.
Sire, the tale is true. This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Okay, what did he actually do wrong? Besides crimes against karaoke.
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wiped spittle from his mouth?
From rape to harassment to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation?
That is weird.
He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Lieutenant is trying to make sense of this flood of information.
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Shakes his head in disbelief. Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted? Raped, you said?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got around. Aren't you fucking listening?
He repeats like a parrot.
There's something odd here.
You don't say!
Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it.
Oh. But who did he rape then? This is a very serious allegation.
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Despite the stonewalling, you can slip one more question in.
I'm going to ask for one last time. Who did the dead man rape?
Titus, do not answer. You have been forthcoming enough.
Fuck off, Carl. She's gone through enough without you harassing her too. She doesn't need more embarrassment.
What are you talking about? Embarrassment. If someone has been sexually assaulted, we need to...
What you need is to get the fuck out of my face. I've had enough of explaining myself to you fucks. He's dead. It's done.
As you can see, these men can only take so much baseless scrutiny. I'm doing my best to keep the situation civil, but...
Follows the slow head shake.
It's true. She was the only thing holding him back.
How did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
You're pretty sure you've had at least 2 years of cop school and many more of active service. This is where an autopsy would come in handy. You have to work with what you know.
Did you muffle him? We haven't heard any reports of screams.
Titus, you don't have to clarify anything.
We overpowered him, dragged his unconscious body to the tree, put a noose around his neck, and hanged him till he was dead and steady.
Then we left him for seagulls, maggots, and you fucks.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up.
Where did this overpowering happen?
Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker came to our bar. It happened right here.
This guy listens to his lawyer as well as Trump does. Well, at least he's managed to hang on to the one for like at least a day.
Titus lets the others clear out the details, so he doesn't get his hands muddy with explaining too much.
When did this overpowering happen?
Weren't you fucking listening?
Oh wait.
Titus lets the others clear out the details, so he doesn't get his hands muddy with explaining too much.
Ooh, I only need five more skill points. I mean five more experience to get another skill point. I can put it into something. I would like to put it into composure. Wasn't he a trained killer from ONE Special Forces? If yes, then how did you manage to overpower him?
With numbers, asshole. How do you think? You're right, Lizzie. I've done enough explaining here.
I have other questions about the lynching. I want to save that composure check.
Like what, Copper?
You murdered him just like that, no remorse.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
I'm just doing my job, that's all.
So you are just a simple, well-meaning man, eh? Ever been in solitary? Prison is a charter. That's what it is.
Solitary confinement is inhumane. Even the fucking Quakers concluded that solitary confinement is too much.
He's clearly been in solitary confinement, and at a young age, nonetheless.
So he's hanging a man, slowly, without breaking his neck.
Lieutenant replies dryly. So what are we gonna do now?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus.
Lieutenant closes his notebook.
Done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility. We're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Rent-a-cop? So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals.
Authority godly, established authority. Very low. I lose one because I was weak when we first met. Okay, what task can I do right quick to get my skill level up? I can do that check. Read your ledger and name the case. Oh, okay, I can do that. I need to, okay. Where's my ledger? Where's my ledger?
It's the ledger you found in the trash. And the cool piece of toilet paper is stuck to the back. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each. It's slightly, ever so slightly, difficult to breathe once you've done so. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Not much has changed in the meanwhile.
Smell the ledger.
The acidic stench of rotting food has rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi Discrete, or Axel, or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet.
No, I know. Sylvia already told me I dunked it in the
If
toilet.
you knew it was dunked in the toilet before getting chucked into the trash, why are you sniffing it?
Option to sniff was there,
So you wanted to get in on the trash toilet stink collab. Find out what happens when those two get funky together? Okay, pal.
Are you angry with me,
Yeah.
Nose?
Turns out your nose doesn't like self-indulgent literal shit huffing. Quelle fucking surprise. Come on, no more. The ledger is going back down, away from your nose now. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Maybe it's the kitchen tissue. They look exactly the same.
If you want it to be kitchen tissue, it can be kitchen tissue. It's not though. It's toilet paper.
Take it off.
Still wet, the toilet paper, I mean kitchen tissue, sorry, peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better.
Hey, put the ledger away. We got a skill point. Okay, now I can put a point into composure. Okay, let's see if this check works. It still might not. I might only have like a 50-something% chance.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Titus does not look particularly happy to see you. I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where's the 8th Hardy Boy? I should have asked this question before.
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us, and we're all here.
He sizes you up.
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
He shakes his head.
Actually, boss, we've been talking, and we think she could maybe...
This person Glenn wants to hire, he really respects her.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. End.
He points at the lieutenant.
You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
I want to talk about the hanging again.
Again. Just get the dead guy's autograph, since you're his biggest fan.
Good one, Titus.
We hanged him up by his neck.
Didn't they teach you...
You're pretty sure you've had... This is where an autopsy would come in handy.
Titus.
We overpowered him.
Then we left him for...
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Then see if it all adds up.
Composure challenging. Things aren't quite right here, are they? Please?
Titus
Yes!
is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But
first, tell me who's solid. Who's cracking?
Alain, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned by the police.
He is in a gang.
This little rat-faced fellow is solid, too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
Who's cracking under the pressure? This one. He's sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They've smartly kept him out of the conversation thus far. Definitely the weakest link in the chain. Hey you, turn to the big guy. Having trouble breathing over there?
No.
He looks up startled, his forehead shining from sweat. A few coral locks are peeking out from under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
The man next to the big guy bursts out laughing.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
There's something you're not telling me.
And fuck you, too, Copper.
I'm sorry?
Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
His all-muscle comment wasn't sarcastic. He's genuinely trying to look out for Angus. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Like what, Copper? Yeah, lawman. Why don't you?
It's almost an anthropological sight, watching him try to assert dominance over you.
Why don't I just arrest you?
Not in the arresting mood?
His mean little eyes come alive with hatred.
By your side, the lieutenant keeps his hand away from his holster. You hear the nylon of his coat hiss as he steps closer. Easy. Walk back from the provocation. They're armed, and they outnumber us. The lieutenant tries to establish eye contact with you.
Yeah, easy now. Let's just talk.
Wise move. You made the right choice there. Now make another one and get the fuck out of our booth. We're not gonna do this again. About fucking time.
Discuss Eth Hardy. I'm gonna take off now. Should I get authority up too?
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Are you the Hardy girl?
I am not.
She says dryly.
You could be, Liz. You could be anything. You could even be a model.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school.
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International.
Get a grip, Glenn. She went to law school.
So fucking what? Lots of models are actually really smart people, fuckwad.
No, Glenn, they aren't.
Her tone is cold and uninvolved.
This didn't change her opinion of you. It's not her. She's not a Hardy girl. Definitely.
I suspected that highly. Well, that she was, not that she isn't. What are you going to do to me? Lieutenant's not satisfied with the
What
approach.
are we going to do to you?
She starts laughing. It's cold laughter devoid of
You were
joy.
specifically asked not to say that, and then you said it anyway, you junior delinquent. But you still did.
There's this fucking fly in here, and it's getting on my nerves.
The union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
Goddamn right it is.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But we digress.
Maybe we'll talk later. The plot thickens. I mean, I have my suspicions, and they're quite obvious. But I need more information.
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
The cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway.
Turns back to you with
I'm
a
glad
weary
to see
smile.
you again, dear.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Howdy, Lena. What's kicking?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working.
A faint smile tells you she appreciates the effort, but at the moment her mind is on more serious matters.
The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Why do you need to use the phone anyway? I can answer this question. I have brain damage.
To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
This sounds like a side thing. I need to take care of my main thing. Then I'll get back to this. But has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
Expeditions?
But you have more important things to worry about.
So your husband is some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
Oh! He's like searching for the Jersey Devil or something.
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
Lieutenant sounds unimpressed.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious.
Uh-huh.
Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
She really believes in this.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
Maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids. How is my luck today?
You're an enthusiastic idiot, but you're still...
Anything about cryptids? Living cryptids, extinct cryptids, marine cryptids. Bring it on! Can I go back?
We don't have time for Cryptozoology 101. Let's get back to work, shall we?
Tell me more about Morel. This character, your relationship?
Oh dear. I'm not sure where to begin.
What does your husband look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Let's try again. If I were trying to meet him on the street, what would I look for? That's a good place to start.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
I don't think I've seen a person like this before. How long have you
We'll
been
be
married?
celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn.
Good for you.
Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
How did the two of you meet?
By a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say.
No shame in
I
that.
was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
He smiles wistfully. You have all the information I need. Let's move on.
I hope I've been useful.
What's this expedition your husband was
Just
on?
some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
Maybe the rich lady has seen them. You mentioned traps. Could there be some problem with them? Who's this gay person? Do you trust them?
Sweetie, it's nothing like that.
Like what?
Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
Are they in a rough neighborhood?
There's a nameless old fishing village nearby, but we've never had any trouble there before. There is a lot of crime around here, isn't there?
I can't say it's the best part of town, but I wouldn't worry too much about a pair of grown men traveling together.
The lieutenant doesn't want to agitate the woman.
Is he with the skinny dude? The guy that I'm supposed to meet at 9 o'clock tonight. Cause he mentioned No, they would be together, okay. I'm jumping to conclusions here. But yeah, it might be something similar. Or fuck. Is his name Gary? Oh man, okay. Alright.
Do it. Find her husband. This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Some fringe science is exactly what's needed right now. Spice up that vanilla murder investigation.
This sounds like police business. I hope you find your husband.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but...
Whenever I uphold it, I've got a premonition of this main missing scientist is connected to our main case.
I sincerely doubt it. Still, I suppose it won't hurt to keep an eye out.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morel.
You know more about this rare insect your husband is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
I want to hear about the insect.
It's a phasmid, technically, but...
Oh, yeah. Here comes the interesting.
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. I hear about the ghost bug.
Sticks or leaves. This one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. Hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers.
He looks you in the eye and nods thoughtfully.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
When does he think the phasmid is around
Well,
here?
some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
So a newspaper clipping was all the evidence you have?
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses.
You seem really excited about this cryptid.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses.
Is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
Does it have cool powers?
Yes. It can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years. Centuries, even.
Okay, so what's so special about this stick bug then?
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special.
The woman's face flushes with embarrassment.
Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
That's all for now, ma'am. Alright. Wonder if I have more information to talk to Kuno with. Kuno S is still here.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Talk to Manana about the armor. Empathy legendary. So he raises his eyebrows, projecting aggressive indifference. He said, "You're now the king of entire Jamrock? King of the entire Jamrock? He's on the armor anyway."
Fuck, okay. Kuno's a giver like that, yes?
He looks slightly confused.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello!
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
Good idea.
Whatever,
What
kid.
is this? Trying to be cool with your new asshole? Kuno was just being nice to you. You got
Moves you
fucked
off.
bad. Now limp the fuck out of here. After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
Let's see. I'm gonna discuss the body with you again, Kuno.
The fuck about it?
See anyone suspicious
Just a couple
around?
of pigs sniff.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty Kuno.
You know who
Kuno's
he was?
fuck imp.
He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
Wait, who he was before he
Kuno
died.
knows what you meant. Kuno's not a snitch. That's all. Trying to make Kuno sing into the popo phone. You're testing.
Get lost.
I have more questions about the crime scene.
Yeah.
Crime scene.
The kingdom of Kuno. The fuck do you want with it?
The dead man's clothes were in a trash container. How did they get there?
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno.
See, I need to know. Could be a lead in the investigation. Someone may have tampered with the murder scene.
Listen, listen. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real.
You'd have to be blind not to notice the giant white letters F-A-L-N running down his trouser leg.
Champion of investigating already had plans. He sounds Scouse. Oh yeah, like he's totally. Scouse doesn't mean Scottish, right? Or like somewhere from around that area. Is absolutely what he is in this town of nothing but French people. I see what happened to his clothes. He must have seen them lying around. What's so great about these fans? Oh, Liverpool, really? Do they originally hail from Scotland? Because that sounds like a Scottish accent to me. See what happened to his clothes. He must have seen them lying around. These pants. See what happened to his clothes. No.
Look, Kuno ain't seen shit lying around, except for that up there. Now you want performance gear or not, Grandpa?
The lieutenant remains silent, but his expression couldn't say, "I told you so," any louder.
They are a port city, where there you go, could be why. So great about these pants.
Pig, these are found modulars, liquid fit, performance crotch, urban survival shit. Made in Mirova by scientists. Pants scientists. Believe it, you need this shit.
He unzips his jacket to give you a quick peek at the plastic wrapped pants. They are graphite black and look brand new.
These could drastically improve your chances of survival in the urban wilderness. Coach Physical Instrument endorses these pants. They are tartan ready. They will also make you into an idiot.
Alright, Pico, shit's rolling.
Don't do business with the pig, Kuno. He's gonna steal all your money, Kuno.
As you can see, Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
There's more to his distrust than being a pig. He feels threatened by something obscure in you. What that is, however, remains a puzzle for now.
There's also a mug in the trash.
The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again?
You better not take it out of his historical context. It might have anything to do with it.
Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker, 'cause he's the clothes fucker?
I can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Kuno. Someone's tampered with the crime scene, cleaning some of it up.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator.
He nods in approval.
Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe you can...
Tell the Kuno who it was. He's curious. He likes putting 2 and 2 together here.
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno. They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching. Get away from my Kuno.
They love the F word, don't they?
Yeah, get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and out of Kuno's face. Yeah, whatever.
Else.
Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Kuno, let's talk about your shack again.
The fuck do you want with it? Is it? You got pretty fucked. Kuno's surprised you've still got your whatever, piggy. Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom. Kuno doesn't fuck.
Kuno doesn't fuck. Okay.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Shao converse with me.
Was the...
Kuno S doesn't talk about anything. Okay. So nothing new there. Let's see. Can't talk with the skinny guy yet. He's not at home. Oh, maybe Boat Lady knows where.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Okay,
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
What did I crack exactly?
What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
Missing husband? Is that him? No. It's Her husband?
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman.
Oh,
Protect
the other
and
lady's
serve,
husband.
recruit. Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband isn't missing though? But he is missing. You heard her. The worry in her voice.
This doesn't add up. I'm only making a fool of
Do
myself.
marriages make any sense? Does honor? You're not a filthy philosopher. You're an officer of law. It's time to ace this case and not brood over your reputation. We can deal with the perception management later.
I'm going
There's
in.
no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found right now.
You don't know me, no one knows me. They don't know me. Protect and serve, madam. I found your husband.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing.
But you say you didn't know where he was.
And I specifically added that I didn't need to know where he was.
Well, I found him nevertheless. I'm that
Very
good.
well then. Where is he?
Right around the corner, he has pissed himself.
Excuse me? I don't follow.
There's something else hiding in her voice, though. A trace of worry.
Found a working class drunk, and I thought he might be
Right,
yours.
because working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what?
He's right around the corner.
Remember, about that what? Never ever say what.
You know what? I'm bad, I guess. I say stupid things sometimes. I didn't mean to annoy.
You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although not that one.
You told me your husband's alright.
I did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic.
So is he missing as well?
No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park, or in Shamrock somewhere. Drinking with his friends.
She looks away.
I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
She has completely forgotten about her book, staring blank into the distance instead.
There. She's worried now.
If he's with these friends, then he's not really missing. No need for the police to get involved. Kim, is it just me, or do we have a missing persons case
I wouldn't
here?
be so sure.
For trying to face the working class woman.
Man, just to be completely clear, do you want to report it to the police?
Report what? He's just out drinking with his friends. I'm sure the police has better things to do than to chase down local goofballs.
Your team is ready to chase down every goofball in town. We care about
She
you.
sighs, but you can detect a slight hint of gratitude and relief from her face.
All right, go ahead. Do you have any questions?
What does your husband look like?
Honestly, not that different from you.
She has you from head to toe. Like a late-stage alcoholic, then.
That's one way to put it, yes. No offense. I'd also add he's a little bit chubby.
See, what
What
else?
else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself.
She sighs, her voice slightly quivering when she adds.
It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change.
Who cares about the cold when you have your cool jacket to wear? You can completely sympathize.
I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it?
She looks back at you, shaking her head. Oh, that jacket is really cool. That cool. I can totally understand.
Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold.
She's thinking about him out in the cold, in some park, or on the coast. And it's making her more and more worried.
When did you last see him?
Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home. Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again.
She scoffs.
I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction. Just makes me feel weak.
Gone for around 36 hours then. Damn, this is a missing persons case. She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
I think I got it. Thanks.
So you are going to look for him?
She genuinely wants you to know. Don't make her ask.
Yes, I would bring him back home to you.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
She tries to maintain a brave front, even though her eyes reveal the opposite.
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Precinct 57, Kim Kitsuragi, know?
He gives her a slip of paper.
I will. Of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing.
The woman takes the slip of paper. It's a phone number. So that's where the quest that line of questioning led. Jacob, you doubter! How dare you question my methods? Okay. Oh, right. That's what I was going to do. I need to talk to the... Hey, you were questioning it too. Shut up! There's no proof that it was. Even though I'm recording this right now. Looks like there was more construction here. Once, decades ago.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
She pressed a wet raincoat. Is it cold like that? The rain is freezing.
Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water, almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy. What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day.
Seems smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown of this reality we're in. That's what the old lady, the cryptozoologist's wife, wanted me to talk to her about.
Why, yes I am.
A lot of people on
Of
both
course
sides.
there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
You want an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
The Caillou. We were in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Haven't seen anyone else sell a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Yes, I do.
Before you do, it would be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Okay, what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft. A 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelechi 19? Why?
She taps on the side of the boat and makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelechi, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about the sleek fish?
What?
Because it's sleek and fish-like.
I think I'll stick with the factory name, but thank you.
How do you like
My
it?
sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
The fuck did she just
I'm
say?
enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
This is what I was supposed to do before. You have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
So what's the economics of this boat you're on? Going for the
Oh
kill.
my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
The symbol of our segregation to foreign capital, the bad kind of capital.
Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator.
He doesn't look like he thinks you're best in single combat.
Then what does that say? Does it say docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A? 33A? This old proletarian haunt here. As I said, plenty of people drive boats, of all social strata.
That's a very low chance. Change the subject.
Yes. Anyway.
Anyway, from Auburn Lux.
Oh my. The E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption?
Yes,
That
Detective, may
Then what does that say? 33A? This old... Yes. Anyway.
I don't like my chances with that 28% chance. That 28% roll.
Good.
Need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
So we're into that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality.
Ah. Yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy now that I think of it.
She puts down her thermal cup and looks at you. And you asked me to investigate a drug trafficking case.
don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Let us reach for something fundamental. Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby.
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
Are we the same age? What is
Martinez
Martinez?
is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock.
That's only 90.
You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not
We
a
are
good
going to be here
ambassador.
for a while.
I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. As I told you, Martinez used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real star of the show here. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
What sea is this? The reeds of the real. Further down the coast, the wilder it gets. Was that further south or further north?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
What's the name of this
Caillou,
island?
as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A
Caillou is a
smoothed over
little
pebble
shithead.
amidst a great blue sea. Misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of
Esperance.
this river, on the 6th branch. The Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her, and to humanity at large.
That's Martinez. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is it?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
What makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
And why will it resolve history? Who built this city?
The nations of the Occident. Or
And then they
migrant
built it on
workers
rock
from
and roll.
Seminine and Il Marat, depending on your creed.
When was Revachol
In the
built?
DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
Whoa. Okay. And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest.
Okay.
By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
And women.
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the
Whoa.
middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're in an unimportant part of an important place.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about...
She points across the water where the skyscrapers rise.
A sparkle of lights on the horizon, like morning stars above the curvature of the planet.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Say nothing. Observe the large body of water swelling. Cold.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly.
Thought gain. Jamai vu. Derealization.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
I'll continue
It's
later.
better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
What times are these? Okay, I gotta know. I gotta know, like, what year it is, please.
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for
For
what?
the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth.
The revolution.
What is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Did you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare.
And the apes, were they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
She looks at you, her gaze sharp. Okay.
On the other hand,
she turns north, the bombed-out buildings lining the waterfront, then shivers slightly. Who got shot in the head?
those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution.
40 million?
They all got shot in the head.
40 million. $40 million. How many people died in World War II? Wasn't it? Wasn't it 6 million? Or was that the number of people that died in concentration camps? More than 40 million. More than 40 million. Yeah, 6 million. 6 million was the number of people that died in concentration camps.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
It's a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Smart.
Yes. King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Went down? Anyway, Gil got out alive and his nephew Frisell got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral
The
rights?
liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
And by the liberals, you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
And how did they win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
And so the liberals already took everything. J'accuse!
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Damn. Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralists?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
Always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything. The hell yes I am, and also not. I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it? The
It
communists?
wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
Prions are no fucking joke. Prions are misshapen proteins that they're misshapen proteins that they can't be cooked out of food. So for prion is in your food, and that protein will get into your system and will get into your cells and make them copy proteins and make your cells copy it in an incorrect way. Yes, they are very nasty. They mostly show up in brains. So there are cultures that consume the brains of animals more often than others, and they are very susceptible to becoming infected with prions. And like I said before, prions cannot be cooked out. Once a prion is in there, you can't cook it out. There's no like 165 to cook out or below 41 degrees Fahrenheit to get rid of it. It's just there. You can't get rid of it. There is no safe temperature. What does this Zarach do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
No way.
Indeed. Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
This game was made before COVID. I think like a few years before COVID. Like, okay, COVID was not the first pandemic. Not even the first like worldwide pandemic. There were other very devastating worldwide illnesses before COVID-19, okay? What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
What is the zone of control? It's the only one that occurred in my lifetime. Mine too. Worldwide, anyway.
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the Citizens' Militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The Zone of Control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the Suzerain and the Commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
This thing has been like this for 43 years.
Time flies.
What have we been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time, in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the Zone of Control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
You don't seem to be thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just...
She looks at the crumbling tenements, paint flecking from the stone.
We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
What sort of medical solution? Sounds like Zarath drove those people mad. I would have killed more than made off with the mineral rights. Who are you in all this?
And I asked you, past less detective of the Citizens' Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
I would have said a medical solution. Sounds like Zarath drove those people mad.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion? A complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago.
Liquidate the rabid prion-infested dogs want to kill everyone with cleansing artillery fire. With privatized healthcare and a work ethic that does not turn your brain into sponge tissue. Yeah, that's the bad option. We don't want privatized healthcare. Some hygiene, modest social care, and perhaps a little research program.
Good hygiene. Really. A very moderate solution to an extreme problem. It's those sort of half measures that doomed the authorities in Grad. When they failed to step up, Marzov and his party stepped in. In this particular case, maybe a more robust state response might have been appropriate.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
The abattoir.
Understandable.
That's enough about the time.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
Damn.
I am an ultra.
You'd have to deal with peons with a lot of prejudice. Burn everything, including the bones kind of prejudice. Yes! Because there's no getting rid of it once it's there. You just have to destroy, like, the entire vessel.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
What's an ultra? Dios mío! A liberal!
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a centrist at heart. A real moralist, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her. But only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
I forgive you, but only because you're charming.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Vile devil.
I hope so. I hope we are able to continue as friends despite my scaly bulk, and the insanity, bloodshed, and transfer of wealth that took place here. It was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
The writers don't have a high opinion of anyone, really. But I guess especially liberals. Because they just, like, wiped out all the communists. Like, communism is spoken of in, like, the most virulent terms. It's like 1950s America. But then also the liberals were the ones left standing. And they're, like, seen as traitors.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're no dummy yourself.
So am I.
A smart boy getting smarter. One basic term of reality at a time.
A patriot.
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
Lieutenant puts down his nose and gives her a look. You have
Yes.
daughters.
Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality? Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
That's all for now. Alright, I think we actually like learned a lot there. And also, I got another skill point. don't know what I should put it into though. These are all very useful in certain situations. I think maybe I should put it into empathy. But I'm not sure. I'll hold off on that for now. Because I don't know what's going to be the most useful. Okay. So this is where we're going to end it for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I'm getting more and more into this. It's fascinating to me. Maybe not to anybody else, but I love this kind of shit. But yes, thank you for joining me tonight. Please follow if you haven't already, so that you do not miss out on one gosh darn cotton-picking second of this awesome content. And until next time, Jean Mata. Bye bye everyone. Don't let the comments bite.